Hey guys, what's up? It's Migan here. Um, Video that I promised the other night. About I made a video about how I compare everything to warfare and military science and things like that. I explained how that's one of my biggest passions is military science because I love the strategy behind it, the tactical thinking, the mind you gotta have to go into battle and defeat an enemy twice your size or whatever. So I'm big on reading those things, and like I said, I apply to everything in life because I believe, like I said, everything in life is has some kind of military science in it. Military science is pretty much conflict science, and we're all surrounded by conflicts. Whether it's emotional, physical, whatever. Almost everything we do has some kind of something militant in it. So I developed my what I call my three laws of conquest. Right? Everybody heard of the 48 laws of power, all these things. So I just try to trim it down to based on what works for me, and I just came out with what I call the three laws of conquest that I've noticed from military leaders and people that just dominate in general. So first thing I laid out is number one, you got to have a goal. I wrote it down here. Three laws of conquest, right? You can use that to dominate anything in your life. I don't care if it's homework. I don't care if it's your fitness goal, your whatever plan you have, whatever you want to conquer. You could apply these laws, and I'll show you how I personally apply them. Now you could customize them, you could add to them, do whatever you want, but this is what's been working for me. Number one is a goal. You gotta have an objective. You gotta have a goal. Every military leader that existed, you could go from Alexander the Great to Genghis Khan or whatever. Everything starts off with a goal. Every conquest starts off with a goal. Like, okay, Alexander wanted to conquer Asia Minor. Um, Genghis Khan wanted to rule fucking like the whole world and shit. Everyone who Hannibal wanted to defeat Rome. So you gotta have a clear objective. You could apply that to bodybuilding. Let me use the example of big arms. That's what most people want. I want big arms. So that would be your goal, is to have big arms. But like I always say, a goal without a deadline is wishful thinking. You need to add a deadline to every goal. It's one thing to say I want bigger arms. It's another thing to say I want bigger arms by June or by July, right? And it's another thing to say I want 15-inch arms or 16-inch arms by such and such date. That's even more specific. I'm a big believer in setting goals and putting deadlines to them to make them real, to make them from wishful thinking to things that are actually attainable. And even if you don't reach that goal, at least you'll have that sense of urgency, which is so crucial to accomplish goals. If you don't have that sense of urgency, that rush, it will be hard to stay motivated. When you set a deadline to a goal, you resurrect that goal. You know what I'm saying? You give yourself that extra motivation because you know tick tock, the clock is ticking. So you gotta have a goal with a deadline, right? So let's use the example of big arms. That's your goal. So write down a piece of paper. Number one, my goal is to have big arms. Be specific. Put the amount of inches. If your arm is 14 inches, put, I don't know, 15 or 16, and put a deadline. Number two, after you have your goal and your deadline, is your resources. You want to know what resources you have that's gonna help you accomplish your goal. Back to Alexander the Great, he wanted to conquer Asia Minor and the Persian Empire, whatever. What was his resources? His army. That's one. The food to feed his army. That's two. He had his what do you call it? His phalanx, which is the ancient Greek style of waging war. The phalanx that have the shields close together, and his father actually made it even better with the sarissas to make it even longer and better. Whatever. Make a long story short, he had his special style of breaking through enemy lines. He had his cavalry. He had his commanders, his captains of 10, his captain of 10,000. He had his camp, whatever, all everything you have at your disposal now is what's called your resources, right? So in your case, in your fitness journey, for example, if your goal is to build bigger arms, your resources will be what? A gym. That's one. Make sure you get that. Two, barbells. You're gonna need some barbells, some dumbbells. Right? So be specific. Write down what you're gonna use. Are you gonna use barbell, dumbbells, machines? Are you gonna use both? Whatever. Write down what you have available, right? And number two, you gotta understand the biggest resource, I believe, is history. History is your biggest resource. I don't care who you are, whether you're a conqueror trying to conquer a kingdom or a simple guy trying to get in shape. History is your best friend. Meaning what? Look at other people who have tried to do what you're trying to do and see where they failed and where they succeeded and use that to your advantage. History is your biggest weapon, your biggest resource, right? Before you try to build big arms, look at who are the people that had the biggest arms in history and try to see what they did and write it down on a piece of paper. Write down at least five people that had great arms and write down their routines and try to look for the common threads. Obviously, you're going to have different exercises, but look for what exercises you see in each and every one of their routines and write that down. Man, They have different routines, but they're all doing the barbell curl. That must be a good exercise. Write that down. So your resources, right? And number three, finally, is your plan. The third and final step is to plan. Planning simply means how you're going to use your resources to accomplish your goal by a specific deadline. I repeat, how you're going to use your resources, your barbells and your dumbbells and whatever, to accomplish your goal, build bigger arms, right? By the set deadline. Set your plan, draw it out, come up with your own routine. I use these 3 laws of conquest for every single body part. I have one I have a template for my chest, for my back, for my traps, for my shoulders. I have one for my classes in school, my every class I'm taking, my budget, everything. I break it down. I divide and conquer. Everything has a I have a goal, the resources for it, and the plan. I want to get an A in a certain class. That's my goal. By the deadline, by the time the class is over, my resources is my textbooks and the internet. Khan Academy, whatever. My plan is okay. I'm gonna read a chapter. I'm gonna read 10 minutes a day, whatever it is. Different things. You gotta have a set goal, know what you have available to you, and then plan by putting all of these things together in one routine in order to accomplish that goal. So that's the 3 laws of conquest, and you can use it for bodybuilding, you know, fucking school, academics, whatever you want, your own personal life. Try it out, and let me know how it works for you. So hope that video helps.